Imagine being the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company, ready to close the biggest deal of your career, only to be publicly humiliated by a wealthy, influential family because of your race. Most would crumble, but she did the unexpected. She canceled the $500 million deal on the spot, turning humiliation into her greatest triumph. This is her story. Meet Angela Harris, a trailblazing black CEO who rose from humble beginnings to lead one of the fastest-growing tech companies in the country. Known for her sharp mind, relentless work ethic, and visionary leadership, Angela shattered countless glass ceilings on her way to the top. Now, she stood on the brink of closing a landmark $500 million deal that would catapult her company to global prominence. The other side of the negotiation table was the prestigious Whitmore family, a wealthy, old-money dynasty with deep roots in the business world. Known for their conservative values and exclusive circles, the Whitmores had built an empire over generations, often controlling deals behind closed doors. Their reputation for toughness and subtle discrimination was well known among industry insiders. This wasn't just any business deal. It was a high-stakes negotiation filled with power, pressure, and unspoken tensions. Angela entered the room fully prepared to make history, but she had no idea the humiliation that awaited her and how her response would shock everyone watching. The meeting took place in a grand conference room at the Whitmore family's corporate headquarters, a room designed to impress, with polished mahogany walls, crystal chandeliers, and floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city skyline. Angela arrived confidently, dressed impeccably, her team by her side, ready to finalize the $500 million deal that had been months in the making. But from the moment she stepped in, the atmosphere shifted. The Whitmore patriarch, a stern elderly man with a reputation for subtle but cutting remarks, barely hid his disdain. The family's younger members exchanged smirks and whispered among themselves, clearly trying to unsettle Angela. As the negotiation began, Angela presented her company's value and vision with the professionalism and passion she was known for. Yet, during a crucial moment, one of the Whitmore sons interrupted her, not with a question, but with a snide, racially charged remark disguised as a joke. The room fell silent. Some guests tried to hide their shock, others glanced uncomfortably at the ceiling. Angela froze for a second but quickly regained her composure, refusing to acknowledge the insult directly. However, the damage was done. The subtle humiliation was clear to everyone present. The Whitmore family members laughed softly, while a few witnesses looked away, uncertain whether to intervene or stay silent. The tension was palpable. Angela's eyes burned with a mix of anger and disbelief, but she maintained a calm exterior. Inside, she wrestled with humiliation but kept her voice steady, continuing the presentation as if nothing had happened. Behind the scenes, whispers spread quickly. The power dynamics were clear, and the Whitmore family's message was loud and unmistakable. This deal and this CEO were not on equal footing. That moment marked a turning point, not just in the meeting, but in Angela's journey. What happened next would show the true measure of her character and change the course of the deal forever. After the meeting ended, Angela retreated to her office, closing the door behind her. The silence felt heavy, but she needed a moment to gather her thoughts. The sting of humiliation was sharp, yet beneath it burned a fierce determination. She refused to let the Whitmore family's disrespect define her or her company. Her phone buzzed with messages, her team expressing both sympathy and concern. They admired her professionalism in the face of blatant disrespect but worried about the deal's future. The board members, too, reached out, torn between urging caution and standing firmly behind Angela's leadership. Privately, Angela wrestled with a difficult decision. This $500 million deal wasn't just a number. It represented years of hard work and a chance to elevate her company to new heights. Walking away could mean a setback, but continuing on terms where she was disrespected and undervalued felt like compromising her dignity and the value she stood for. In conversations with close advisors, Angela voiced her doubts and frustrations. Some cautioned her to stay the course for the company's benefit. Others encouraged her to stand firm and demand respect. The internal conflict was real and painful. Yet, through it all, Angela's resolve grew clearer. This was about more than business. It was about sending a message that respect and equality couldn't be negotiated away. Her team rallied around her, inspired by her courage. They prepared for the next steps, knowing that whatever she decided would have ripple effects far beyond the boardroom. The question hung in the air. Would Angela proceed with the deal despite the humiliation, or would she make a bold choice to cancel it altogether? After days of reflection and consultation, Angela Harris knew that the decision she faced wasn't just about dollars and cents. It was about dignity, leadership, and the kind of company she wanted to build. The $500 million deal, while monumental, came with conditions she could not accept: being disrespected, undermined, and treated as less than an equal. In meetings with her trusted advisors, Angela laid out her concerns plainly. "This isn't just a business deal anymore," she said. "It's a statement about who we are and what we stand for. If we move forward under their terms, we condone their behavior." Her advisors were divided. Some worried about the financial fallout and the message canceling the deal might send to investors and the industry. Others respected Angela's conviction, emphasizing that true leadership sometimes requires walking away from even the most lucrative opportunities. One longtime mentor reminded her, "Your integrity is worth more than any contract. Remember, it's not just about profit, it's about purpose." Emboldened by this counsel, Angela made her decision. She prepared a clear, powerful statement announcing the cancellation of the deal. In it, she emphasized the need for respect and equality in every business relationship, calling out the behavior that had taken place without naming names but leaving no doubt about the reason behind her choice. When the announcement went public, it sent shockwaves through the business world. Headlines praised her courage, while some critics questioned if she had acted too emotionally. Social media erupted. Many hailed her as a symbol of strength and a trailblazer standing up against subtle racism and power abuse. Inside her company, morale soared. Employees felt pride knowing their leader refused to compromise on values. Investors took notice, respecting the message of ethical leadership in an industry too often marked by cutthroat tactics. For Angela, the decision wasn't easy, but it was clear. Some battles are bigger than business, and winning means standing firm, even if it costs you millions. The moment Angela Harris publicly canceled the $500 million deal, the fallout was immediate and intense. The Whitmore family, known for their tight control over their business empire and reputation, were blindsided. Privately, they seethed with anger, feeling humiliated not just by the public rejection, but by the firm stance Angela had taken against their subtle but unmistakable disrespect. Behind closed doors, the Whitmores scrambled to control the narrative. They issued carefully worded statements emphasizing the importance of professionalism and mutual respect in business, but stopped short of addressing the accusations of racial bias that had sparked the cancellation. The family's longtime allies in the industry circulated rumors questioning Angela's judgment, suggesting she had let emotion cloud her business decisions. Meanwhile, the broader business community watched closely, divided in their reactions. Some industry leaders praised Angela's boldness, calling it a powerful stand for ethics and equality. They lauded her for showing that respect in business is non-negotiable, especially when power imbalances and racial dynamics are involved. Her decision sparked conversations about inclusion and respect in corporate boardrooms across the country. Social media became a battleground. Supporters flooded Angela's platforms with messages of admiration, sharing stories of their own experiences with discrimination and celebrating her courage. Hashtags like #RespectInBusiness and #StandWithAngela trended for days. However, detractors also voiced criticism, accusing her of jeopardizing her company's future and accusing her of playing the race card. Inside Angela's company, the cancellation brought a renewed sense of purpose and unity. Employees felt energized and proud of their leader's unwavering principles. Morale improved, and many expressed that the decision reinforced their faith in the company's mission, not just to innovate, but to lead with integrity. For the Whitmore family, the consequences were significant. Their reputation, already built on exclusivity and old-school power, took a hit in public perception. Some longtime business partners began to distance themselves, wary of the negative attention. Internally, the family faced pressure to reconsider their approach, though they remained resistant to publicly admitting fault. Financially, Angela's company took a short-term hit by walking away from the massive deal. But analysts noted a long-term gain in brand strength and investor confidence, pointing to the growing importance of corporate values in today's market. For Angela, The fallout was a test of resilience. While the road ahead held uncertainty, she knew she had made the right choice. Her stand against humiliation and disrespect was not just a personal victory, but a milestone for all those who face injustice in the workplace. Angela Harris's story is a powerful testament to strength, resilience, and leadership in the face of racism and entrenched power imbalances. Her refusal to accept public humiliation and subtle discrimination, especially during a high-stakes business negotiation, demonstrates that dignity and respect are non-negotiable values, even when immense financial gain is on the line. One of the biggest lessons from Angela's experience is that true leadership goes beyond profit margins and quarterly reports. It requires courage, the courage to stand up when others would stay silent, to challenge outdated norms, and to demand fairness and equality. Angela's choice to cancel a $500 million deal rather than compromise her principles sent a clear message. Respect in business is foundational, not optional. This story also highlights the broader importance of confronting discrimination head-on. For anyone facing unfair treatment, whether in corporate boardrooms, workplaces, or everyday life, Angela's example shows that silence often perpetuates injustice. Speaking out, even when it feels risky, can inspire change and shift conversations toward equity. From a business ethics perspective, the narrative stresses that companies and leaders who uphold integrity earn long-term trust and loyalty from employees, customers, and investors alike. Profit without principles is fragile. Values create lasting legacies. For individuals navigating similar challenges, here are some key takeaways. Know your worth. Don't settle for disrespect or unequal treatment, no matter the pressure to conform. Seek trusted support. Surround yourself with advisors and allies who remind you of your strength and guide you through tough decisions. Stand firm with grace. Address conflict with calm confidence, balancing assertiveness with professionalism. Use your voice. Share your story to raise awareness and encourage others to stand against injustice. Angela Harris's journey is not just about a canceled deal. It's about redefining what it means to lead with integrity and demanding a business world where everyone, regardless of race or background, is treated with respect. Angela Harris's story reminds us all that standing up against injustice takes immense courage but is essential for creating lasting change. When faced with disrespect and discrimination, she chose dignity over dollars, proving that true leadership is built on principles, not profits. Her bold decision to cancel a $500 million deal sent a powerful message that no one should tolerate humiliation, no matter their position or the stakes involved. This story isn't just about one CEO. It's about all of us who face unfair treatment in our lives. If you've ever been made to feel less than you deserve or witnessed injustice, remember that your voice matters. Sharing your experiences can inspire others to stand tall and demand respect. We invite you to join the conversation. Please share your own stories or thoughts in the comments below. Your courage could empower someone else to take a stand. Remember, resilience and strength often come from the hardest moments. Like Angela, you have the power to turn adversity into triumph and lead with integrity. Stand firm, speak out, and never let anyone diminish your worth.